Good afternoon. I am over here in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Michigan Farm Bureau Growing Together Conference. So it's a conference that unites agricultural professionals, industry experts, and it centers on members' professional and personal growth. So you get to meet a lot of farmers. We toured a lot of agricultural facilities, processing facilities, things like that, vegetable production, storage, transportation, things like that. And we had some bus tours yesterday, and I was on a bus tour. We went to some large produce company that does their own on-farm processing and storage. So that was pretty cool. They sell produce nationally, mostly root type crops. And I was sitting on the bus next to this lady that she had just joined Farm Bureau. You can tell she wasn't really a farmer. Some of these rural country estate people, are getting involved in Farm Bureau, which is good. But, her question to me, she goes, well, climate change is a real big problem for farmers. She was talking about vegetable production, and how California is experiencing many successive droughts. She said climate change is going to be a big issue, and where are they going to grow all those other products and all that? Well, the biggest problem with farmers, you don't hear farmers talking about climate change. It's a non-issue for most farmers because when climate changes, it happens gradually over decades, not instantaneously, and farmers have always been dealing with climate change ever since humans started producing crops, ever since the Green Revolution, thousands of years ago when, tens of thousands of years ago when humans went from a hunting gathering to agricultural society. And that jump to agriculture is what allowed rapid population growth. But I said that's a non-issue. You're getting that from the media, the lying fake news. What the big problem is with farmers, it's population growth and land development. And sure enough, we got off the bus, we went to this Victory Produce, and the produce farmer talked about it. He goes, the biggest problem is development. He goes, all around him, houses going up like crazy. And in my state, most of the agricultural production is in the lower third of the state, the southern third, and that's where most population is. The northern part of my state, climate doesn't permit a lot of growth except for forest production and wildlife and other types of natural resources, mining and oil and gas, things like that. But food production, it's population growth and non-conforming land use, taking our best farmland and building houses on it. That's what all farmers talk about. We're always losing property to build houses. We can't compete money-wise with that. And to hear all this focus, I hear this disastrous information coming in farm groups about, the largest Ponzi scheme possible now is carbon credits. You're going to pay a political entity and or some politically connected company for your use of carbon for this myth of carbon neutrality. All we're doing is we are using carbon that used to be free ranging in the atmosphere that got sequestered hundreds of millions of years ago, and we're using that carbon and re-entering it into the atmosphere so it can continue on the carbon cycle and be used as plant food. Carbon in the atmosphere is not a bad thing. This is a fallacy. Don't buy into that garbage. There is a reason why at one time on Earth there were carbon-based life forms as big as houses running around the Earth, because we had carbon, which was a good thing, not a bad thing. But the one thing, if they're going to be talking about carbon credits, how about developers paying a excise fee that goes to preservation and creation of farmland or something like that? That'll probably be the real issue in the future. Anyways, just my random thoughts I thought it was very enlightening. It's extremely enlightening being over here and you talk to you see some big farm operations
put this wax on this rutabaga that makes the customer have to. You go on the internet, you 25 different ways how to get the wax off the rutabaga. Well, you don't need to put it on.